I just crossed 500 followers on Medium, and in this video, I'll talk about 7 things that I learned in my journey. Hi guys, my name is Rishav, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I wanted to go over 7 learnings that I've had in the last 7 months of writing on Medium. I just crossed 500 followers, and it took me way more time than I had initially anticipated. So when I started writing, I thought, 500 followers would be hardly 3 or 4 months. I would reach 500 followers, but that was not the case. It's been a very long grind, but it's been a very interesting journey. And I just wanted to make this quick video about some things that I've learned, and hopefully some things that, can help you as well if you're on this journey. So the lesson number 1 is short intros are underrated. So the first thing that I learned while writing on Medium, which I didn't know, was that you cannot have a very long intro when it comes to writing an article. Let me give you an example that you can relate to. Have you seen those vlogs on YouTube where, the vlog is titled as I propose, she said yes. That's the title. But when you click on the video, it's basically 10 out of the 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes is about some random stuff that the guy is doing. He's riding a skateboard, he's going to the mall, shopping, and stuff like that. And at the end of the video, last 30 seconds is when he talks about the proposal and he actually proposes. When I see those blogs, right, I get so irritated because they just beat around the bush for the entire time, and in the end they give you the actual thing that you're there for. But these things cannot work in when you're writing an article. So if you write a very long intro, beat around the bush and stuff like that, no one is going to read the entire article. So the number one thing that I've learned in the last few months is that you need to have a short intro and you need to get to the point as soon as possible, because no one on earth has the time to read a very long intro where you beat around the bush all the time. The second lesson that I've learned in my journey is that consistency is the key, and the only way to actually make it on Medium is by being consistent. And the thing is, when you are consistent, you tend to write better articles and you tend to get in states of flow very fast, and writing articles becomes very easy and you start enjoying the process. But when you write an article and then you write the next article after 3 months, it becomes so difficult to continue. So if you are consistent, it helps a lot. Lesson number 3 is that it's a marathon and not a sprint. As you can see in the screen, it took me a lot of months, almost 7 to 8 months, just to reach 500 followers. And this is way longer than I had initially thought. And I've not had any exceptional months. I've only had consistent ones. If you come with the mindset that, I start writing and I'll get 500 followers in the next 1 or 2 months, that doesn't happen. That happens for some people out of the blue, but in general, that really doesn't happen. So it's a marathon and not a sprint. Lesson number 4 is that it gets easier with time. Just to give you an example, when I was writing my first article, firstly, the article was horrendous. And secondly, it was so difficult for me to write the entire thing. I was basically staring at the screen for almost 30 minutes, just trying to figure out what I want to write about. But if I compare my first article with writing my 50th article, then things are a lot different. When I was writing my 50th article, everything became easy. I knew what the structure of the article should be like. I knew what are the examples that I wanted to incorporate, and I wrote it faster, and it seemed less daunting than my first article. And I'm sure when I write my 200th article, for example, things will get even easier. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it gets easier with time. Lesson number 5 is that personal stories are the only way to stand out. If you think about it, there are thousands and thousands of people writing on Medium. And obviously there'll be people who are better writers than you, right? Who have better command with the English language than you do. And who've read so many stories and who just have a flair of writing well. But how do you compete with those people? What I've noticed is that the only way to compete on Medium is by sharing your personal stories. Because your personal stories, no one on this earth can narrate that story better than you, because you are the person that's gone through it. And a lot of times we feel that, we feel hesitant to share personal stories, but that is the only way to stand out. And when you share your personal stories, I know sometimes it becomes difficult and it's very difficult to share those kind of stories, but when you share your personal stories, that's when you are able to stand out from the crowd, and that's when you can connect with your readers on a personal level. Sharing personal stories is something that anyone can do. You don't need any degree or diploma for that. You don't need any experience for that. You just need to, share them. And sharing your personal stories will help you stand out from the crowd. Lesson number 6 that I learned is that adding value is the secret to success. So when you write a piece of content, your goal is to get the reader from point A to point B. Now that point A and point B can be anything, can be from getting them from unmotivated to making them motivated, from uninspired to inspired, from lack of knowledge to abundance of knowledge, from uneducated to educating them about something. But you need to take them through this journey, and the only way you can do that is by adding value. So for example, I've noticed that the articles where I've given as much value possible that I can, like I wrote everything that I knew about that subject, those are the articles that have not only done well, those are the articles where I've made the most amount of money. So the moment I start adding value, I've seen that, I get a better response. And that is the key for creating content. When you start adding value to someone's life, that is when your content clicks with them, and that is when you can grow as a content creator. And the last lesson that I've learned about Medium in the last few months is that chasing numbers is a completely waste of time. I've spent a lot of time just looking at my stats, and that's a complete waste of time. It doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or if you have 5,000 followers. What matters is how good your content is, and how well you're improving your content day by day. So for example, even if you have 500 followers, if you're trying to improve your content, and if you're trying to add more value to the reader who's reading your content, that's good enough. It doesn't really matter if you have 100,000 followers. That's just an ego boost. So instead of focusing upon I have 100 followers or I have 1,000 followers and making goals like, I need 1,000 followers in the next 3 months, those things don't matter. What you should have a goal about is basically, I need to write better content and I need to provide as much value as possible. And followers is just a byproduct of doing those things. Those are the 7 lessons that I wanted to share with you guys about writing on Medium. I know it's been a very long journey for me. I haven't had any overnight success. It took me 7 months just to get 500 followers, and it's a very slow grind, I know that, but I'm okay with that. And I wanted to put this out there with you guys to show you that the success doesn't happen immediately. So if you're struggling with writing on Medium or creating content, and if you're not gaining a lot of followers, that's completely fine. And that's how it works. And all the people who you see out there who are successful have gone through this, and I am just one of them who's going through this right now. I'll keep updating you guys about my journey once I reach the next milestone. And if there's any specific questions about Medium, or if you want to know anything about this topic, just comment down below and I'll make a video about it. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment, and I'll see you in a few days.